Hi, I'm Tom McCutcheon, and this is my friend Joe Schmidt, and we're going to answer some questions for Virtual Horse Help.
Our next question comes from Tom McCutcheon's Virtual Horse Help member, Mark. Mark would like to know, what helps you determine that a stallion may be suitable for becoming a breeding stallion?
Well, for me, I've only had a handful of studs in my entire career that I thought were breeding stallions. And for starters, when I go to a horse show, I'll get my horses out, my 3-year-olds out a lot at some of the early, like the NRBC in April of their 3-year-old year, and that's usually their first exposure to other horses, to a horse show situation. And for me, when I'm riding one around and a half a dozen people or 10 people walk up to me and say, hey, what's that one?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's the start, because they got to be special. They can't just be another nice horse. To make it in the breeding business, they have to be special. And, you know, that's the start of that. And then they have to be great-minded. I mean, to me, the mind is more important than anything. You know, Bob Loomis, who has a track record to show that he's one of the best breeding guys in the history of our industry, told me one time that it doesn't matter how talented they are, their mind is what's going to reproduce. So that's really, for me, been one of the factors that I've lived by, is that great mind. I mean, there's a whole bunch of horses out there that can do the maneuvers. There's very few that want to do the maneuvers and want to help you and want to walk in there and be great show horses, and those are the kind, to me, that I think about using for studs.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. You know, like Tom's saying, you got to have a good-minded stud. And I remember Todd Bergen telling me years ago, you know, if you're ever thinking about maybe your horse, you know, you might want to geld him, then you should geld him. If there's not every day he's coming out telling you, hey, I am the special horse, I got the look, I got the talent, I want to be good. And I think they need to almost act like geldings when you're riding them around other horses and doing your day-to-day business. You know, and it goes back to, you know, being using horses. If a horse can't focus and all they're thinking about is breeding mares and not paying attention, you can't get your job done, and we don't really want to reproduce that.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with that 100%. And going back to what Joe said about Todd telling them, if you're not sure about if you should cut them or not, then you should. I've never ever, as long as I've been doing this, cut one, and then 6 months later thought, I shouldn't have done that.
Our next question comes from virtualhorsehelp.com member Janice. Janice asked, what is the most important feature when you're looking for a reining prospect?
Yeah, again, it goes back to what we were talking about before. You know, I think the great mind is first and foremost. And then I think you got to decide, you know, what you're looking for in a horse. Are you looking for something that can show in the level 4 open classes with us? Or are you looking for something that, you know, you're going to show in a rookie class? Is it a 6-year-old that you're looking for, or a 2-year-old? I mean, that really all depends on exactly what you're looking for. But first and foremost, I would go for a really good-minded one.
Tom McCutcheon's Virtual Horse Help member Veronica would like to know how she can most easily adjust from riding pleasure, horsemanship, and trail to becoming a reiner. And how does she know when she's found the reining horse for her?
Well, you know, I've dealt with a lot of people that came from other disciplines, and the biggest thing, I think, from the pleasure and the horsemanship and that kind of background is they're probably more concerned. What I've found is they're more concerned about their posture and about how they look on a horse than actually how they can feel their horse do the maneuvers, how they feel their horse loping around.
For sure.
And that's the first thing I tell them is, you know, relax, try to get more feel with your horse, ride comfortable. Don't worry about riding pretty, ride comfortable.
Yeah, I agree with Tom. I think being relaxed is a biggie when you're making that transition from some of the trail classes. You know, they tend to focus on being really correct and having the picture perfect, and sometimes I think that leads to riders being stiff. and you can't really have that when you're riding a reiner. You can't be running down 20 miles an hour and do a big sliding stop and be stiff. As far as finding a horse, it goes back to, having a great-minded one, really. And you should talk with your trainers or people around you and try a bunch of different horses and see which one would fit you pretty much.
Yeah, for sure. That would be, if you're new to it and you're looking for a rookie horse or a limited non-pro horse, I mean, for sure, I would say go to a trainer and have somebody help you evaluate a horse. Don't go by yourself, because, I've had people come to the ranch that were new, they want to buy a horse. They just really don't have any idea what they're looking for, what's going to fit them, what's a good maneuver, what's a bad maneuver. I mean, really, they could have been sold anything at that point. Sure. And we're very careful to get them with the right horse, but walking into the wrong situation, it could be bad. It could be them buying something that's not going to fit them, or them buying something that is not going to fit anybody, and that's hard to resell. So I would definitely, for the most part, I would say all of the top trainers in our industry are going to try to help you find the right horse. I mean, anybody that is out there that has been in the industry for a while and has been doing this, they understand the importance of hooking up, new people with the right horses. But I would absolutely recommend that somebody go out and get a trainer to help them evaluate a horse, and that'll fit their needs and fit wherever they want to go.
And I think too, not getting in a hurry to find the right horse. Be able to ride a couple of different horses, maybe ride with different people, just to feel different things, and don't get in a rush. It's a big investment, and when you do buy a horse, if you end up with the wrong one just because you jumped the gun, I mean, that's never fun for anybody.
Let's give Veronica just a little bit more guidance on this. She lives in Sweden. How would she go about finding the right trainer to help lead and guide her to finding that reining horse that she's talking about that would be right for her?
Well, first and foremost for me, the reason everybody does this as a non-pro or an amateur or a rookie is because they want to enjoy the experience. They love the horses. They want the challenge of a reining horse. They want to enjoy the whole experience. So I would find a trainer that you have some kind of a rapport with, a trainer who has a barn where you're comfortable going there and riding. You're comfortable with the other clients. Where it's something where on the weekend when you get up in the morning on Saturday morning and you're going to go ride with your trainer, you're excited about it.
I think also, going to the shows and watching trainers, how they ride, how they deal with their clients, and how they give lessons to their clients, and asking around and finding someone credible. I wouldn't, I'd ask several different people what they think, and just look at the horse's condition, how they're treated. And really, I think if you're a non-pro looking for lessons, watch how that trainer gives a lesson.
And I think a couple other things you can look at is look at the condition of their horses.
Yeah, for sure.
Walk through, look in their stalls, see how they take care of their horses, and also I think it's absolutely imperative that they are members of their respective organizations, members of the NRHA, members of whatever affiliate is in that area. So at least that they are, credible enough to be playing at that level and be NRHA members.
Kelly wrote in to virtualhorsehelp.com and asked, what is a cavesson used for in training?
Well, a cavesson is actually I've got one here. A cavesson is a device that's actually placed, it can be placed over or under a bridle. We generally place it on first, underneath the bridle, and it just keeps the horse, as they have pressure from a bridle, it keeps the horse from opening their mouth. which gives you better contact with the horse's mouth and keeps them from the bad habit of opening their mouth with a curb bit.
Yeah. And like Tom said, there's, you know, you can put it over the bridle, under the bridle. There's some that are, this one's, you know, rounded leather on the top with flat on the bottom. Some are smaller, narrower, some are fatter.
Where can riders find a Cavasson, a really good one like the one you're referencing right here?
Well, this Cavasson and really all the leather goods that I use come from SmartPak. Their Rockin' SP line. For me, their stuff is so soft, and that's really important because it doesn't rub anywhere on a horse. Again, the more comfortable, the horses are no different than we are. The more comfortable that they are, the better they're going to perform. So for me, it's really important. All of my equipment, I like it to be, you know, soft, pliable, not rub them anywhere, and that's why I use the Rockin' SP from SmartPak stuff, because it is all pre-rubbed, pre-softened. It's great. It's just really great leather.
Yeah, it's nice to have leather goods like this that don't require 2-3 months of riding to get them broke in. You know, you just put it on the horse, it's ready to go. You don't have to oil it before you get on, or before you put it on. You know, it's ready, it's pliable, and it's not going to hurt them. Go to virtualhorsehelp.com and join for free, and ask Tom and I pretty much any question you want. There's no such thing as a dumb question, and we're just here to help you enjoy your horse and have fun in the arena.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be show horses. It can be anything pertaining to the ranch. Actually, it can be anything at all. Just ask us anything you want to know, and I'm sure we'll have an answer for you.